Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important segment, and I'm going to explain exactly what John Durham is up against. Most people don't understand what the Durham Probe is up against. I wrote about this in the Federalist. You can go, just Google H.A. Goodman Federalist. You will see articles that even Rush Limbaugh, when he was alive, God bless him, shared on his radio show. I explained in my writing in the Federalist and also in the Huffington Post and the Daily Caller and other publications that oftentimes Democrats use legal means to achieve their objectives. Now, in the Federalist, I wrote numerous articles on the Durham Probe, special counsel. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below. I will be doing a lot more segments today, tomorrow, and every single day on the Stock Market Crash channel. The issue, ladies and gentlemen, that most people don't understand is that the Durham Probe has to find out how government officials utilized government bureaucracy through legal means to set up and frame Trump. Now, this might be a difficult concept for Democrats to understand because with morally superior liberal Democrats, they can never imagine that their political side would set up and frame and try to lie and deceive simply to attack their political opponents. They can't admit that. It's like something that could never take place. So you have to understand when Sussman or when the Steele Subsource or when Kleinsmith, the three people indicted thus far in the special counsel, and hit subscribe to this channel right now because this is a very important segment. When those three people, and we're going to see a lot more indictments according to John Ratcliffe and according to yours truly, when those three people decided to set up and frame Trump, they didn't do so signing a document that James Comey and Clapper and Brennan and Strzok and McCabe signed saying, we intelligence agencies and intelligence chiefs promise to set up and frame Trump on the behalf of the Clinton campaign and liberal, morally superior liberal Democrats everywhere to ensure that our political side wins. That is not what they did. That's not what they did. Okay? John Durham has to find out, just like he did in Boston with Connolly, the top FBI official who basically worked as part of a criminal organization. He has to find out how they broke 18 U.S. Code 371, which is what I talk about in the Federalist, which is what McCabe and Comey should be charged under, 18 U.S. Code 371. You can just type in H.A. Goodman, Federalist. I'm typing it right now. And you can click to my author page. You can see all of my writing on The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, other publications on hagoodman.com. But you can see here, Comey and McCabe should be charged with conspiring to defraud Americans. It's 18 U.S. Code 371. That's the legal statute. That's the legal statute they tried to indict Trump under, or they were talking about indicting Trump under. They used their government post legally to set up and frame Trump. This is the dilemma that Durham has. That's why it's taking so long, people. When, ladies and gentlemen, when you say, well, it's taking so long, it's like, well, this is a special counsel, just like the Mueller probe. But they got Sussman on lying to an FBI official. The indictment assumes that the FBI official, or the Bureau legal counsel, didn't know that Sussman is working for the Clinton campaign. Of course! Without a shadow of a doubt. the people at the Bureau that Sussman was working with knew very well, without a shadow of a doubt, that he was being paid by the Clinton campaign, and everything that he was presenting, whether it was the Steele dossier or the Alpha Bank nonsense, all of it debunked, all of it completely fabricated, was done on the behalf of his client, the Clinton campaign and the DNC. Just like one of the top lawyers at that law firm helped purchase the Steele dossier. They did it through legal means. Durham has to find out through creative or through indictments that make people flip and sing. This is what Democrats said and media said regarding Trump and Michael Cohen and Stormy and Avenatti and all these people. They're going to flip and sing. Well, that was projection. If Sussman flips and sings, he will explain that the Bureau knew very well that he was trying to give them information, derogatory information that he fabricated, along with a tech company and a tech executive and other tech people against Trump. But they did so through legal means. That's what I'm trying to convey in this segment. It was not Clinton set up Trump in a manner that was completely legal. Do you find that difficult to understand or comprehend or accept? You should not. Everyone on this channel knows exactly what I know or exactly what I've been talking about. You know more than me, likely. They set up and framed Trump utilizing attorneys, utilizing loyalists within the Bureau or Central Intelligence or other agencies, utilizing media. And they all needed a pretext to investigate Trump. So what did they do? They hired attorneys to give intel officials salacious information, absurd information, baseless claims. Those intel officials were seen as sources by Mother Jones journalists or Washington Post journalists or whatever. And then you had millions upon millions of scorned, mortified, morally superior liberal Democrats who lost to Trump and who wanted Clinton to win and who needed some kind of fabricated hoax and fantasy and myth to hold on to. Because if they didn't have that myth, they'd have to come to the reality that they lost to Trump. And they couldn't, and the morally superior liberals in this country could not accept reality. So they started the Mueller probe, the Mueller special counsel, based on Comey's memos. They ignored Comey's letters, which said that her private servers had even more top secret intelligence and classified data than we originally knew. And they said, well, Comey's memos, Trump trying to intimidate him, all of this nonsense in a meeting that nobody could corroborate, and it was just Comey's words versus Trump. But that was enough to get a special counsel going. And they found nothing in the special counsel, but there was the Alpha Bank allegations. They found nothing there. And then there was his tax returns. They found nothing there. But then there was Stormy before that and Michael Cohen. They found nothing there. They haven't found anything on Trump, and they have been trying desperately. They could have easily indicted Madam Secretary, but they didn't because Comey was a loyalist to the Democratic Party. That's obvious. You'd have to be a complete imbecile and buffoon to think that James Comey wasn't a loyalist to the Democratic Party. But hey, he is hiding behind the fact that it is true. Nobody broke laws in setting up Trump. However, when you get Kleinsmith lying to FISA judges and the Steele subsource Danchenko, I believe that's his name, lying about the Steele dossier, and Sussman working with a tech executive in a tech company to fabricate a hoax regarding Alpha Bank servers. And when you get people lying and trying to deceive government agencies, you have government agencies trying to cover their behinds, and you have those people who worked alongside government agencies covering their behinds, and people are now, there's a conflict of interest among everyone involved. Everyone is trying to pretend that they were just looking at national security, when in reality they were all in cahoots, all working together, and they're going to now turn on each other. Sussman is being backstabbed by the same people at the Bureau who knew very well Sussman was telling the truth. Of course the truth that he wanted to set up and frame Trump. They're not stupid. They know that Sussman was giving them information on behalf of the Clinton campaign. The people at the Bureau were accepting that information, and they were pretending that it was legitimate. Now Durham has to simply get people to flip and sing, to turn on one another, and that will be very, very easy. Once they get one of the top attorneys at that law firm, it's game over for Sussman, for Baker, for Comey, for Strzok, for Cape, all of them. Because the attorneys will flip and sing on everybody. Because the attorneys who engaged in corrupt acts did so through legal means, and perhaps have the goods or the receipts on government officials. Almost certainly they do. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now to this channel. Subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. And the government officials have the receipts on those attorneys. So it's very important to realize that they did so. They set up and framed Trump through legal means. Everything was legal, except in aggregate, from a bird's eye perspective, they were all engaging in corrupt activity, utilizing their post to set up and frame an incoming candidate and a president, the 45th president. But they did so initially, each little action that they engaged in, through legal means. Now, Durham has to find out why all of these people lied to each other or lied to the court in Kleinsmith's case. And it's not going to be very difficult to realize, just like the FBI official in Boston, that they were engaging in a corrupt act, utilizing their post as government officials or their job as attorneys for the Clinton campaign. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now to this channel. Just because they were engaged in legal activity doesn't mean that the motive wasn't corrupt. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.